All right.
Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Influencers Network Online. We're sitting here with Tommy James Murphy, good friend of mine, actor, producer, writer of entertainment. Tommy, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a long time coming.
Hey, thanks for having me. I know it's been a while. We always try to do this, but our schedules didn't line up.
Didn't line up. We're here now, and of course, with the convenience of the internet, there's no excuse to not get this done now. So thank you again very much. How's everything been during your quarantine season?
It's been hectic. Everything stopped. Homeschooling now. My
Yep.
son. Yeah, obviously all auditions stopped and all
Mhm.
that stuff. So it's just time just to focus on mental health.
Yeah. It's
Right.
definitely very important. A lot of people are talking about that too. So how are
Mhm.
you maintaining your mental health during this time?
A lot of times it's like because I'm always confined with just in one spot, right? It's
Mhm.
just me and my son majority of the time. So what I'm doing is a lot of times it's just like me and him time,
Right.
right? And talking, right? Talking about, other things in school or work, stuff like that.
Right.
And that's one thing people always focus on, your physique for
Mhm.
health. But I personally believe it all starts here, mental health. If you believe and you feel happy, you
Yeah,
can achieve anything.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Yeah.
a great
So
place to start for sure.
yeah, going outside for little walks here and there,
Yep.
looking at nature, appreciate all the little things that everyone misses.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's definitely important. The appreciation and gratitude for the things that we do have. I mean, we don't have some of the freedoms or the flexibility we had a couple of months ago, but we do have a
Yeah,
lot inside in our minds and our homes, wherever we are, right?
exactly. Because I think the worst place you could be is in your head.
Really?
Yeah. Right. It's like there's four walls, it's like if you're stuck in there, it's easy to get down on yourself.
Yeah, of course. I can understand for sure.
Yeah. How about you? How you been doing?
Can't complain. Talking to people just like yourself, hopefully putting out some interesting and useful information for people looking to change their careers possibly or just try something new once all this is over. So before
Yeah.
getting into your acting, tell us about yourself before getting into the acting industry.
Oh, wow. Okay. You want to hear about the rap career first or
Yeah.
breakdancing?
Everything, rap, basketball, all that stuff.
Yeah. No, so, oh man, since I was 4 years old, I was really athletic, stuff like that. Love acting though.
Yep.
I was like a fanatic about the Scream movies. Remember
Mhm.
Scream? Right? That's what made me want to be an actor. Jamie Kennedy. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. But I was always good at basketball. Right? And basketball got me out of a lot of trouble as a kid.
Right.
From school, they're like, oh, you know what? We'll just let Tommy slide because, you know, he's good at basketball, even though I'll swear in class or something. I was a troublemaker sometimes.
Right.
Um, but yeah, basketball led me all around the world playing, um, getting great D1 offers, scholarship offers. And then, when my knees went, right, like I couldn't even like barely run without aches and pains.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I ended up doing an MRI on my knees and there's no cartilage in them.
Are you serious? None at all.
Yeah, bone on bone.
Okay.
Um, so obviously all schools were afraid to even look at me after.
Mhm.
Right. So then I, got a modeling offer for a contract, did that for a bit, and then I realized I love eating too much.
There wasn't a market for your type just yet.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna stop everything and go back full circle to acting, what I want to do since I was 4 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I started taking classes and started reading a lot,
Yep.
and then learning on the go. Right.
Mhm.
I think the best way to learn is if you get thrown to the wolves.
Okay.
Right.
So when you're getting into it, you mentioned doing the classes. Do you think it's necessary to do classes first, or is it possible to just join an agency and get work and go from there?
I think it's possible to just join an agency, to be
Mhm.
honest. Um, just because the fact that it's all depends on how you learn,
Right.
right? My first acting coach, Walter Alza, he I audited his class. So an audit's where you just go in, pay $20, and you like basically observe,
Okay.
right? And so he got me to go up and do a monologue, and he came up to me. He's like, "You really have a James Dean type vibe when you're acting." He's like, "You have a lot of potential."
Okay.
Right? I was like, one, that's awesome. Two, who's James Dean?
It's a good start.
Right? I didn't know who was that.
Right.
Yeah, and then he's like, "And you look like Franco." I was like, "Ah, a little bit." Um, so what happened was I couldn't afford the classes. I was just living on my own, with my girlfriend at the time.
Yep.
And he's like, "Here, deliver the flyers around the city for me, and you can take my classes."
Mhm.
So I used to bike around all around Toronto, handing out his flyers, and he'll let me take the classes. That's how I learned.
Just hustling.
And then just hustling. And then after a year of doing classes, I felt I need, like in basketball, how I got better was I'd face people who were ranked,
Right.
right? And so I'm like, I need to go on auditions and I need to learn how to fail, right? Because acting classes, yeah, it's good memorizing script, breaking it down. But
Mhm.
if you don't learn how to fail, all right, you're
Mhm.
never going to know that process because everything you learn in an acting class, from my like standpoint of view, is it gets thrown out the window when you go into your audition
Really? Why is that?
because now just because the audition process is so different, right? You go in, there's around 40 or 50 different actors in the room, right? Some of them look exactly like you, right?
Mhm.
And you go in and they're just like, okay, name, they don't care. It's
It's just
you,
going
a
through
reader.
numbers.
It's just you're just a number to them,
Right.
right? And you leave there knowing, oh man, I screwed up, or man, I fumbled a line, or I think I killed it and I didn't get it. And you
Mhm.
need to learn how to have a bad audition and how to have a good audition because either or doesn't make or break you,
Right.
right? So basically, I left the acting classes and I wanted to fail. And I remember my first audition, they laughed.
Really?
They absolutely laughed at my performance. Yeah, right. And I needed that because it built fire in me to do better, right?
Do you remember what that first audition was?
And it was for a student film,
Oh, okay.
out of all things. The student film from Ryerson, I
Right.
believe. Um, but like basketball, I was so used to rejection. Getting knocked down, getting back up. I'm not that big. I'm only 6 feet.
Mhm.
Um, and think like getting knocked down and getting back up, I needed that. So I didn't. I laughed, right? And everyone's like, "Aren't you so upset?" I'm like, "No, I needed that because I know what that feels like now. I never want to feel like that again."
Right.
So you need to know that feeling. That's how more steps to success. If you're It's built on failure. Everyone sees the final output on things.
Mhm.
We don't see all the times you failed.
Of course. So through all that failure, what is it that kept you motivated to keep going and pushing through those challenges to eventually succeed?
Because I know I was meant for it, right? I was
Okay.
put on this earth to entertain, right? Besides be a father and everything like that,
Mhm.
acting is my major thing,
Right.
right? Because when I grew up, all I knew is I wanted to be a great father and a,
Mhm.
and a great actor, right?
Really?
So I learned basic. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I learned basically is like I had that feeling I want to keep on going, right? Because I know I could succeed.
Mhm.
So I went back to my acting coach and told him what happened. He's like, "This is what happens," right? I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "I appreciate your classes. I love what you did for me, but I need to go out now," right? He
Okay.
didn't want he didn't want me to, right? He wanted to groom me more, but I'm like, I came from the point where like I grew myself, right? So I
That was
went
the
out
chance for
and
you to
then two,
get out and
yeah,
explore.
yeah, and two auditions later, I ended up booking uh, a series regular on Steven Spielberg's show Lucky Seven.
Wow, very cool. Tell us about that
And
experience. How was that?
yeah, oh, that experience was good. Big sets. It was I think it was ABC
Yep.
or NBC, one of them. Yeah, it was great. I met everyone. It was kind of taken back. Like if you watch Entourage, right? It's exactly like that.
Right.
Right? I remember I went in for one role, right? It was a one liner. It was for a stripper.
Mhm.
I was,
You're gonna be a stripper.
yeah, yeah. I go in, all these buff guys are like this, right? They're oiling themselves up, and here's me, a little 165-pound guy. I'm like, what am I doing here,
Right.
right? It's like I look like that one guy from the bodybuilding competition. You could tell never worked out,
Right. Of course.
right? And I go in, I'm like, I gotta do something that makes me different. So right when I went in there, I ripped off my shirt, just ripped it.
And you stood out
They're like,
from
"What's your name?" And I said, "Tommy." And the network seen that audition. They laughed. They thought it was funny. They offered me a role, a series regular role,
wow.
right? And my agent at the time, she called me. She's like, "I don't believe that." She's like, "What? You're testing for the network?" I'm like, "What's that mean?" So I went home, watched Entourage. I'm like, "Oh my god, they like me." Right? That's how I learned a lot of stuff, like
Right.
lingo.
So Entourage was kind of
Yeah,
your training ground as well. A lot of the
yeah,
terminology of
Entourage.
industry was learned over there.
Yeah, yeah, the terminology and stuff like that, and basically failing. And a lot of times, like learning, uh, in as you know, the film community is such a small community. Really, it's
Right.
big but small, right? And talking to some of my friends who are in it, who've been in it for a long time and stuff like that, right? And just learning from them and their
Mhm.
past experiences. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's basically how I learned, like, just to not give up. Um, know that you're meant for something. If it's in your head, it's in there for a reason,
Right.
right? If you could vision yourself doing it, my belief is God wouldn't put that vision in your head if you couldn't do it.
That makes sense. Everything that's in your mind, you're prepared for, or at least you're willing to be prepared for, right?
You're willing to fight for,
Right.
right?
Wow. So
Yeah,
what?
and of course, yeah, I
Mhm.
ended up working with Franco for a bit, for off and on for a couple years. Yeah,
Yeah. I was
and
gonna
then
say that
that.
next. I know you got the comparison a few times, and when you and I first met, I said
Mhm.
the same thing. You look just like James Franco, and
Yeah,
you said you get that all the time. You've actually worked with him.
yeah, yeah. Being as double for a while, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people imagine that when they meet a celebrity, they're going to be starstruck. They're going to forget their words, not know what to say. How was that
Mhm.
first experience for you meeting James Franco and being able to work with him one on one?
Well, my first experience with him, the first time I ever met him, like I remember telling you at the time where people mistaken me for him at TIFF,
Right.
right? And how that happened was I went to 625 King Street West because my friend was having a party during TIFF,
Mhm.
and I went to 652 King Street West or something like that. I'm dyslexic, so I mixed up the numbers,
Right.
and I go in, and everyone's like, "Oh, here, sir, come on this way." I'm like, "Sir," I'm like, "Wow, my friend's throwing a really good party."
Wow.
Right? And I go in and people are asking pictures of me. I thought it was just a whole bunch of drunk people.
Right.
Girls, oh my gosh, have a selfie. I'm like, yeah, sure. Right? I've never been popular with ladies anyway. I'm like, I'll take it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I look and it says James Franco's premiere for Child of God movie. I'm like,
Okay.
oh no. And then right then and there, his manager was there, like, come here. I want you to meet him. Right? And yeah, and they ended up, he flew into town, he met me. Um, we talked for a little bit, and then a couple months later, I was going down to Montreal to film with
That's crazy.
him, and I wasn't starstruck. I was just like, this guy don't look like me, but people see it,
That's
right?
all that matters, right? As long as someone else sees it, that's all that counts.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, uh, he taught me the best lessons of acting. I seen him,
Right.
one of the best actors, just turn it on like that,
Yeah.
right? And really the passion for it, right?
Okay.
Like I recommend if you really want to get into the film industry and you want to know how everything works, especially from an actor standpoint, be
Mhm.
like a double or a stand-in for someone, right? Because you see how everything works. You see how the actor preps. Like for James, I'll do a lot more. I'll be, doing a lot of stunts as well, or on do the run-throughs, right? Because he's also directing like one of the mini series, so he has me running the lines with the other actors,
Right.
stuff like that. It's a great experience, acting with Josh Duhamel or uh, Chris Cooper,
Mhm.
and all these like fantastic people, Sarah Gadden, all these people.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's not bad, but no, it's not starstruck. It was just like, you don't look like me.
Right.
That's the first thing that popped in my head. I'm like, this guy don't look like me.
Right.
Yeah.
So building off of that experience, and of course going through your years of the acting industry, you eventually wanted to produce your own production or your own movie, and you came up with a call that was taken
Yeah.
up by Netflix as well. So tell us about that, your movie, and the whole experience of putting that together.
Oh wow. Well, so it started with me and my friend Andy.
Hmm.
Um, like we wanted to make a movie, right? And we worked together on some scenes and stuff like that, and we're trying to put stuff together. So we had around a 10-page short,
Okay.
basically, what Recall was. And then we met a great producer and actor, Michael James Regan. I met him on set when I was acting in something. And he's like, he read it. He's like, this could be so much more.
Mm.
What do you mean? He's like, let me help you build this. I'm like, okay. So he joined us and he helped rewrite it. He helped vamp it up. And all of a sudden, it's around 45 pages.
Right.
So he's like, and we're shooting next week. I was like, whoa, what? He's like, you got the cast, you got the crew already, right? Shout out to Michael James Regan for that.
Set the
Amazing
whole thing
producer.
up for you.
Yeah. And
Okay.
you know, he starred in it as well with me. He plays my brother Mikey in it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, halfway through, not a lot of people know this, halfway through, we only done like 4 or 5 pages and we're 30 minutes in. We're like, why don't we just make a full length movie? Not a lot of people know this.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
tough shooting as a short. So we wrote it as we went after that,
How common is
right?
that in the industry to just add more as you're filming it?
It's common, but it's common for more if the, the story to already be completed,
Okay.
right? But we didn't even complete the story. Okay, this has to happen. This has to happen. A day before shooting, okay, we're gonna rewrite this, do this, right? I don't want to spoil the movie, but my character is totally different from how I
Okay.
first wrote it. Um, and basically, yeah, and we premiered it at the TIFF Lightbox, right? It was a strenuous time because like we shot on an ACTRA co-op. So basically, it was nothing. We all put our own money out of our own pocket,
Oh wow.
right?
Okay.
Having
Mm.
having pizza lunches, and you know, and my friend would make like turkey sandwiches and bring them to set. And sometimes I'll
Wow.
have Kane with me with his
Right.
mom on set while I'm acting, because then what happens? I have to go work at Good Life in the
Mhm.
morning. All shoots, so she'll drive me there.
Wow. So you're
Yeah,
everything at the same time and trying to maintain the budget for this film specifically.
yeah, exactly. And being a producer, I don't know. I didn't know anything about producing at the time, but dealing
Right.
with actor and paperwork, you learn a lot. And that process of when it premiered at, you know, TIFF Lightbox, we sold out the #1 theater. It was 500 seats. It was
Okay.
great. It was, I know it got picked up by Viva Pictures, our
Yeah.
distribution company, and then right to there, Netflix seen it somehow because it got pirated, and they seen it on IMDb as top 10 downloads. Someone pirated our movie and it's on IMDb of top 10 downloads,
Okay.
right? And then they seen it, they're like, "What's this?" So they picked it up, and we didn't believe it at first. I always knew it would be on Netflix just because Netflix has a wide variety of content.
Yeah.
And no offense to Netflix, I'm sorry guys, I love you, I work with you, but some of the content sucks,
Right. Okay.
right? Um, just the fact that like there's some horror movies are like, oh no, they're just
It's
acting so
terrible.
bad, and
Right.
some like
Right.
the acting in my movie is great. You can't even tell the budget.
Yep.
It's a micro budget. You can't even tell the budget, and everyone thought it was a higher budget than what it was. So that's how I knew we
That's good.
succeeded.
Hmm.
So of that was stressful.
Yep.
Um, like you, like Michael James Regan and Andy are really close friends of mine, and we fought. We hated each other, right? Because we all have different visions, right?
Okay.
And being a producer, you got to make sure, okay, we have locations only for a certain amount of time. Else time is money.
So the tension kind
right?
of
And then
builds up during that time.
it builds up. Like, and then it's like, okay, well, we have to have insurance for every actor,
Hmm.
right? And I think it was over 100 and something dollars per person.
Okay. Eating into the
And
budget.
there's eating to the budget. And guess what? That one scene, there's a stunt scene. There's around 30 people in the room.
Yep.
That's $100 per person.
Wow. That's
Yeah, so we learn, like, it's a great learning experience. I love it. How it basically it launched every platform for us,
right. So what's next
right?
for you after that? Where's that launched you into?
It launched me into like getting bigger rooms. Like I was testing for Young and the Restless.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, the soap opera. I got down to the contract stages, but they picked someone else.
Okay.
It's the part of the game. It's part of the game. I just don't. I think I was too edgy looking for them. They said I
Ah,
looked like the bad boy,
right.
so I was like, okay, cool.
It's just
I'm
not
still gonna get
you.
tattoos. Yeah, that's just me,
Yeah.
right? But and that's the thing. But it launched me into bigger rooms. You know, great auditions and meeting people, pitching my new projects, stuff like that.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. So two more questions for you. For anyone who's looking to get into the acting industry now, or once everything is, of course, opened up again,
Yeah,
what two pieces of advice would you give them?
belief in yourself,
Mhm.
right? Don't give up, right? And during this whole thing, always learn. The character is never yours. It's it's up in the air. When
Mhm.
they let you out for this character, they know what it wants to be, and they want you to think of like different scenarios what it could be,
Right.
basically, right? So add in your own little flavor for it, because at the end of the day, it's just an audition. Just brush it off your shoulder, right? Don't leave the audition stressing about it,
Yeah. Interesting point. So when they give you an audition
because
script, for example, in a character, you're allowed to make it your own and be flexible with how you portray that character.
yeah, exactly. And a lot of people go, oh, he's this guy's so serious and everything. So like we're gonna say this, and I'll break it down. Like, you know what? I'm gonna make him a little bit cocky,
Hmm.
right? How I'm gonna deliver this line is gonna be more of like he's sarcastic instead
Right.
of like, pen, right? Because sometimes they they don't even know what they want. That's why they're auditioning 355 people.
Interesting. Good point. So they have all this variety of people to see what they bring to the role
Yeah,
themselves.
right? Because I think the reason why I landed that big role with Spielberg was just because I did something different. I ripped off my shirt,
Right.
right? And I was the only guy who could barely do a push up there,
Right. It
right?
made you
So
stand out. That's all that counts, of course.
you have to stand out in your audition,
Right.
even if you bomb it or even if you kill it. You stand out. Make them remember you in some way, preferably a good way. But
Right.
yeah, like make them remember you. Make them remember the name.
Okay. Great point. And the last question for you: what is your favorite movie right now?
Favorite movie? Oh
What
man,
about
that's a
you?
hard one. Yeah. Favorite movie right now is The Wolf of Wall Street.
Interesting. Okay. Why is
Right.
that?
I love Leo.
Okay.
He's awesome in it. Also, the true story of White Man Can't Jump with Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes.
Right. Old school. Okay.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That one hits home when he finally
Right.
dunks.
Of course. Of
Like I
course. So
could,
you prove that story wrong.
after this, yeah, I could dunk still,
Of course.
but more it's more dunking donuts now into a cup.
At some point, you and I have to play volleyball together again. Because that the first time we met, we played volleyball, and it was a great time.
Yeah,
We're very
it
competitive.
was
It
like
was good.
I know, and you're athletic. I didn't expect it.
Right. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
And basketball, we'll leave that on the back burner for now.
Oh yeah, we
We'll leave
will.
that
We
on
will.
the back burner for now.
I know.
All right.
You're still pretty good. You have a good jump shot.
I mean, it's been a while. It's been a while. I want to pick it back up when everything's open, so we'll consider that an option as well.
Right.
How can people get a hold of you if they want to check out your content, if they want to talk more with you? Where can they find you?
If you yell out the window, "Hey Tommy," I might be outside, so I'll answer.
Good start.
No,
Okay.
yeah, right. Yeah, just on social media, Instagram's Tommy James Murphy, just my name, and just on Facebook, it's Tommy James Murphy. Yeah, I don't do Twitter. I don't get it.
Nah, I don't use it
Yeah,
either. So very straightforward.
yeah,
Tommy James Murphy on social
yeah.
media.
No, I.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mhm. Yeah. And you can check tomorrow's episode of Cops. I'm running away. I get caught.
We'll check that as well. Man, Tommy, it's been a long
Yeah.
time for me. Thank you very much for having this conversation with me now. And once everything's back to normal, we'll do it again in person.
Awesome, bro. I can't wait. Thank you for having me, man.
All right, man. Talk to you very soon.
Talk to you soon.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.